Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. He poured a cup of water for himself, straightened his back, and said, the Zhenghai sect seldom dealt with the outside world. They managed to gain a foothold in the cultivation world thanks to their 5 islands formation. Somehow, recently, there was a glitch in their formation. The floating island is the core island of Manhwa. It's 10,000 feet in length, and its weight is immeasurable. It only stayed afloat due to the powerful formation. If the island sinks into the ocean, the other 4 islands will surely sink as well. He stopped for a moment when he realized the others in the surroundings were talking about it as well. Then, he continued to say with a smile on his face, alas, the Zhenghai sect had no allies. The island master, Wang Shiji, an 8-leaf expert, invited various sects to lend them a helping hand. Unfortunately, they were all ravenous wolves with ambitions of their own. They wanted to take advantage of the situation, naturally, they wished for the floating island to sink. In the end, somehow, old Senior Ji went to Manhwa. When the floating island sank, the 4 islands descended into chaos. Coincidentally and also, unfortunately, Wang Shiji wasn't around. The cultivator continued to say animatedly, one thing led to another, the evil Sky Pavilion's Patriarch, a 9-leaf elite, killed the Taishu Academy's Jiang Lizzie with a single strike. With the strength of Atlas, he held up the floating island with a single hand. He brought it out of the ocean, 100 meters up in the air. Everyone was, naturally, frightened. In the end, he obtained the golden Taishu mirror and the Manhwa heavenly scroll. There was a hubbub of discussion in the tea house. Many of them had heard this story multiple times, but they could not get enough of it. The green-robed swordsman smiled and asked, how do you know so much about this, comrade? I've always admired the evil Sky Pavilion. I always keep an ear out for anything that has to do with the evil Sky Pavilion, the man replied with a faint smile on his face. The green-robed swordsman nodded. The man's gaze fell on the scabbard in the green-robed swordsman's hand. He said with a smile, dear sir, that sword you got there bears some semblance to the sword of the evil Sky Pavilion's Yuan'er. Is that so? The green-robed swordsman looked at his sword with a straight face. Why, of course. I heard that the sword devil is back with a new hit list and that he's in this U province city now, the man said. Do you know him as well, my friend? The green-robed swordsman was as gentle as ever. The man placed his teacup on the table. He chuckled and said, I've heard about him, that's all. In that case, do you know that you're on his hit list as well? The green-robed swordsman smiled faintly. BZZT. 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 The sword in the green-robed swordsman's hand vibrated slightly. The man was shocked. He looked at the green-robed swordsman, horrified. The green-robed swordsman said, Mouse King, Li Tsong. I'm sorry, but your time is up. The Mouse King, Li Tsong's eyes widened. Realization finally dawned on him. He looked at the polite and gentle green-clad gentleman sitting opposite him as he said tremblingly in a hoarse voice, Sword Devil. Zing. The longevity sword left its scabbard. With lightning speed, the energy sword shot toward Li Tsong. The runes flickered with energy, gleaming coldly. Zing. The longevity sword returned to its scabbard. It was as though nothing had happened. All of these happened in just a blink of an eye, leaving everyone unaware. After the longevity sword returned to its scabbard, a weak energy surged into the scabbard. The surroundings were as lively as ever. The customers continued chatting away merrily. Everything went on as normal. Yuan'er raised his teacup and took a sip. He placed it back down and looked at Li Tsong, the Mouse King, who was seated opposite himself. He smiled faintly. Goodbye. After Yuan'er went down the stairs and vanished from sight, Li Tsong remained motionless like before. His eyes were half open as though he did not have time to fully open them. A hint of fear and shock could still be seen on his face. His lips were slightly parted, but no sound came from it. The Mouse King, Li Tsong, was the best scout of Yu Province's garrison general. He was skilled in gathering intel from various sources, infiltrating enemy bases, and creating opportunities for the army. He was a competent subordinate of Ji Qingqing, one of the 8 great commanders. He usually kept a low profile in the tea house. He would listen to the others brag about their glorious experiences. This was the first time he had spoken about what he knew. However, he clearly did not expect to run into the evil Sky Pavilion's Yushangron. Alas, it was too late. After what seemed like hours, the tea house's waiter came to clear the table. Sir. When the waiter saw Li Tsong, the Mouse King, keeping quiet, he waved his hand in front of Li Tsong's face. Still no reaction. Hence, he poked Li Tsong. Thud. In just a split second, Li Tsong, the Mouse King, fell backward. At this moment, a bloody slit appeared on his neck, and blood began to gush out. Murder. There has been a murder. Inside the general's mansion in Jing Province. Zhenghai was discussing his next course of action with Wuya. Hua Chongyang hurried into the room with the Darknet's information in his hand. He bowed and said, Sect Master, Mr. 7th, Yuzhou's Mouse King, Li Tsong, has been assassinated. It was a sword slash from the front. Then, he drew a finger over his neck. How many times does this make? Zhenghai asked with his hands on his back. This is the 5th time this month. The garrison general of Yu Province is one of the 8 great generals from the divine capital, Ji Qingqing. The 5 deceased are her subordinates, Hua Chongyang replied. Zhenghai said, Jing Province's General Wenshu included, that makes 6. Who's this person? Do we have anything on him? Hua Chongyang shook his head and said, this man made a hit list, just like Mr. Second did. He would add names to the list every few days. Unlike Mr. Second's hit list, it seems like this hit list is intended to scare the others. Those who leave Yu Province may live while those who are stubborn will be killed without exception. Interesting. If I'm able to meet this interesting person in the future, I must form a friendship with him. Zhenghai bluntly said. Wuya asked, is it possible that the person is Second's senior brother? Zhenghai's expression darkened. Him? Under the heavens, I'm afraid Second's senior brother is the only one who can kill his opponent in such a direct manner. After saying this, Wuya quickly added, of course, this includes you, eldest senior brother. In fact, you're probably better. Wise brother, do you really think that it's him? Zhenghai turned around and looked at Wuya. Wuya was taken aback. He said, perhaps, I'm just overthinking. That's what I think as well. Hua Chongyang understood the situation, so he did not comment on it. He bowed and said, I have another matter to report. Let's hear it. Hua Chongyang produced a stack of papers and said, the incident of Senior Ji holding up the floating island with a single hand is currently spreading. From what I know now, it seems like the news isn't fabricated. Zhenghai took the papers and looked through them. They were mainly ditties and limericks sung by the general public. After going through them, Zhenghai tossed the papers on the table and said with a laugh, regardless of its authenticity, this is good news for us. With the evil Sky Pavilion's fearsome reputation, the cultivators of Great Yen will think twice before meddling in the affairs between the Nether Sect and the imperial family. Wuya said, but, eldest senior brother, Master doesn't like you using the name of the evil Sky Pavilion. Zhenghai shook his head and said, wise brother. You're intelligent, but even you can have a lapse in judgment. Wuya was puzzled. Zhenghai said shamelessly, Master has made it clear that he's not going to go easy on me. In that case, I might as well do as I please. He was going to be punished anyway. He would still suffer the same consequences if he did not do this. He might as well do as he pleased. Hua Chongyang said, when Island Master Huang heard that Senior Ji propped the island up with a single hand, he hurried back to Penglai Island without stopping to rest. Zhenghai nodded. Huang Shiji had been helping the Nether Sect lately. When Penglai Island was in danger, he was helping the Nether Sect here. In terms of morality, it had been more than enough. Very well. This meant that he would have one less helper in his quest to conquer Yu province. However, with a mysterious elite helping him in the shadows, he felt less pressured. Inside the abyss of the moonlight woodland, there was no sun to help Yi Tianqin keep count of the days. All she could do was estimate the time. After what seemed like days, Yi Tianqin felt that her Dantian sea of qi was completely filled. She opened her eyes slowly. Yi Tianqin conjured up her primal qi and leaped out of the lake into the sky. She hovered in the air as she looked down at the lake. The glow from the formation had faded. Most of the primal qi had been absorbed by her. She raised her hand and studied her palm. Whiz. A dainty and delicate 100 tribulations insight avatar floated above her palm. 6 leaves spun around the golden lotus under its feet. Yi Tianqin circulated her primal qi. Rings of energy appeared on the avatar and traveled downward. Winged beasts flew between the valleys. However, none of them dared to linger. The bright moon seemed like something from a painting. It remained in the night sky, never setting. The top of the abyss seemed too far away to be seen. The energy rings whizzed as they traveled down the avatar's body like hula hoops. Yi Tianqin focused her mind. Although she had absorbed a huge amount of power, she could still feel the difficulty of sprouting a leaf. She steadied her breathing and willed herself to focus. Again. The radiant ring's brightness intensified. Her unwavering determination increased the avatar's brightness. Whiz. A soft sound rang in the air. Yi Tianqin was surprised to discover one of the corners of the golden lotus was parting. It did not take long before a shining golden leaf sprouted. The appearance of this leaf immediately made her extraordinary 8 meridians flow extremely smoothly and her Dantian sea of qi grew. The rich primal qi in her body was instantly channeled into her sea of qi. A breakthrough. 7-leaf 100 tribulations insight. Yi Tianqin was overjoyed. She summoned her avatar. It enlarged rapidly. Her original 6-leaf avatar was only about 80 feet tall. After reaching the 7-leaf stage, it was now 90 feet tall. She flew forward with her avatar. Alas, she had barely flown for 100 meters when the winged beasts above the abyss seemed to have noticed their prey, and they began to lunge at her, numbering in the thousands. Their deafening cries resounded throughout the abyss. Danger! Yi Tianqin immediately turned around. Countless winged beasts dove toward her in the skies. Their eyes and claws were glowing with a faint light. Bam! 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 Yi Tianqin's avatar shielded her from all the attacks. She frowned slightly. She blamed herself for losing her sense of measure and attracting the beasts around the abyss to herself. Although she could kill low-rank beasts, who knew how long it would take to clear all the low-rank beasts here? Grand technique. With a flurry of movements, Yi Tianqin escaped with her avatar. The abyss was too huge. Its borders could not be seen at all. If she ran into a more powerful beast while running away, she would be as good as dead. The winged beasts in the air gathered and continued to fly toward her. Can't a 7-leaf cultivator deal with this? She looked at the vines on the cliff wall. Let's give it a try. With her unyielding temperament, she directed her avatar toward the skies without a second thought. Countless winged beasts pursued her as they attacked. Yi Tianqin was focused on flying up. In just a blink of an eye, she was several hundred meters up in the air. She surveyed her surroundings and found various beasts holding onto the cliff wall as well. Her hairs stood on end. She did not want to remain in this dangerous place for another second. She did not even have the urge to kill them. She continued flying up. Suddenly. Boom. A wing that seemed like a heavenly screen passed by and struck her avatar. Bam. Energy rippled out horizontally. Bam. 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 Rocks fell from the cliff face, vines were severed. The blow on her avatar caused her to drop. The wind roared in her ears as it scratched at her energy shield like knives. She looked behind her. Countless flying beasts were still coming at her. Sharp beaks, cold, gleaming claws, and green eyes were all she could see. Her heart sank. Was she going to die from being killed by beasts right after she attained the 7-leaf stage? No. Her avatar suddenly appeared and grew in size. Boom. The wild beasts were sent flying. Many of them were killed on the spot and fell due to gravity. However, compared to the beasts that survived, their numbers were negligible. More and more beasts were eyeing this falling prey. They lunged again. This was food from the outside. It was fresh. A never-before-seen delicacy. Yi Tianqin summoned her avatar again and merged with it. Bam. 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 The beasts attacked the avatar, growing more and more ferocious by the minute. Oh. A huge being sailed through the skies. Its broad back with golden feathers caught Yi Tianqin as it swiped its paw at the other beasts. Boom. Hundreds of winged beasts were scattered and fell. Severed limbs rained down the depths of the abyss. The cliff face that once seemed like paradise was now hell. The 10,000 years Zhenghai was here. When Zhenghai struck, there was a rain of blood. It lowered its body and bared its fangs. Its sharp cry that shook the lands scattered the incoming beasts. Zhenghai leaped into the air. It easily covered 100 meters in just a move. Yi Tianqin was stunned. Zhenghai was terrifying. Was an 8-leaf cultivator a match for it? She immediately felt a great sense of security. At the same time, she started blaming herself. How could she have been so foolish? She had been searching for Zhenghai for such a long time. Why did she not think about leaving with it? Instead, she thought she could return to the top of the abyss with her 7-leaf cultivation base. How was that different from rushing toward her own death? Zhenghai landed and swung its paw again. Boom. Rocks from the cliff wall shot into the air. Bam. 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 Each of the rocks was bigger than Yi Tianqin. Yi Tianqin was stunned by this display. With this attack, the winged beasts scurried away. They vanished from sight in no time. Zhenghai growled and leaped back to the shore of the lake, before the rock statue. The distance she traversed after flying for such a long time was nothing to Zhenghai that covered the same distance in a few simple leaps. Zhenghai laid itself on the ground and lowered its head. The surroundings were extremely quiet. Yi Tianqin understood at once. This was its domain. A beast that was powerful enough would have its own domain. The other beasts would surely steer clear of it. Yi Tianqin kept her eyes trained in the distance. She hovered before Zhenghai's eyes. She said, "Thank you." Zhenghai remained on the ground without giving a reply. Its eyes merely shifted. "What's wrong? Are you hurt?" Yi Tianqin immediately felt worried. She flew around Zhenghai. After examining it, she found no injuries. At this moment, Zhenghai raised its paw and parted a pile of leaves before the statue. Yi Tianqin looked at it. There were signs of carvings on the rock. It was a golden lotus. There were 8 leaves on the golden lotus. The words carved beside the golden lotus were practically worn away by time. Yi Tianqin was stunned. She flew forward and touched the veins. Only humans could be capable of this. Humans were the only ones who would leave symbols like these behind. After pondering on it for a long time, Yi Tianqin turned around and faced Zhenghai. "You want me to reach the 8-leaf stage?" "Oh." Zhenghai lowered its paw. Yi Tianqin nodded and said, "All right. 100 years human and 10,000 years Zhenghai." Inside the Eastern Pavilion, the Evil Sky Pavilion. Zhou called up the system dashboard and checked the merit points he had accumulated. Merit points, 97,430.